Good morning, everyone.
You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Good morning, everyone. I feel like I should be able to hear you. I don't know why I feel that way. Welcome, new members. I see we just had 2 new members, Deborah Grief, I don't know how to say it, and Kim. So while we're on that subject, let me tell you what that is. What's this button? Okay, so if you become a member, you get a little badge by your name. And when you're new, you get just a little face, and then you grow antennas after a month, and then you grow a body, and then you get, after 6 months, you get arms, and you're full after a year, and 2 years, you turn purple. And you also get all my Cricut Design Space files in the projects that I share. You get those. You get a discount on my digital paper, 60% off my digital paper, and you get the special emojis that are completely awesome. And I wish all of my subscribers could have those emojis on my channel. I would totally love that, but that's not up to me. Ronald, thank you so much. You are amazing. But that's not the case. I wish I could just give it to everybody, but it's a YouTube thing. The only way to get it is to click join my membership. If you click join right underneath, you get that. That's not the one. I was going to give you a link to that. Let me go find it. I did have it. And then I forgot I didn't have my video ready with the settings. So there I just put the link in there and you can find it that way. It tells you what the perks are. It misses one though, I think. Oh, and I also subscribe to your channel. And the other perks there are listed. And I also want to talk, before we get started on the video today, I have some good news and I have some bad news, and I have something else I want to talk about real fast too. Do you want to hear the good news or the bad news first? And I do take questions during my live chat, so please put your questions in all caps so I can make sure to get those questions, and other people also help answer the questions if they know the answers in the chat too. Ronald says good, and he gave me $20, so his answer is what's good. Okay, what's good? Next weekend, I am going to be on location. I will probably be an hour or two even earlier live on my channel. And I can't tell you where yet. You won't find out until I go live. But you're going to love it. It's craft related. And the bad news is there won't be a design space class. That's it. The good news is Angela Stone, who's in the chat, or at least she was earlier, will be with me. So we got that. So sorry, no class next week, but fun next week. And I will be live, so we get to chat. So at least it's not completely no Melody Saturday. Okay, so we have such a delay, so sorry about that. Welcome, new member Karen. I think the more members I get, the more emojis I get to share. So I'll be able to add a few more emojis. Well, not a few more. One more for every 25 members. I get to add one, I think. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about Patreon just a little bit. I never ask people to support me on Patreon. I offer you the perks to support me, and I really don't promote that very much. Just when I do my projects where you get a free file, I say, well, you get this file because it's a perk for the people who support me on Patreon. Or as a member of this channel, you also get those same files. But I wanted to talk about my $10 pledge, because somebody told me I was kind of giving everybody a disservice of not even letting them know, because I never really talk about the other pledges. So I want to talk, I wrote down the perks that you get for $10 pledge. So because this is a design space class, if you pledge, the reason I'm talking about it now is because if you pledge $10 or more to me, thank you, Cheryl, on Patreon, then you get design space classes. Now, of course, y'all get them free here. But what I mean by that is we're going to do them in a Zoom conference. I also do them in a special Facebook group that is exclusive to the people who want extra design space help that pledge $10 or more. So we're going to be doing them where we can chat back and forth in a class, not just chat here. I will hear your voice. You can be in video, or you can turn your camera off, or if you don't have a camera, you can just speak. You can call in, or you can be in video with me and share the screen and go over specifically what you need in design space, not just questions that I get here. You can follow along. You can also share your screen with me, and so I can maybe see what you're doing. It's just more specialized classes. So let me just read what you get. You get in my secret Facebook group that all my Patreons get in. You get the Patreon only stream, which is on Patreon. 60% off all my digital paper. You get exclusive digital paper, more than just one sheet. This last time was 6. And I have some more digital paper coming out as soon as I can finish it. When possible, I share my videos earlier with Patreons. My exclusive cut files, my gratitude. Y'all get my gratitude, even just my subscribers. You don't have to give me money for my gratitude. Automatically entered to receive $50 gift card to any online store you want. Invite only hangout, which there is, Ron, there is a Patreon hangout today after class at 12:15. So if you're $5 Patreon or more, you get to be in the video with me, and we have a lot of fun. You get all the SVGs I have in my store. There's not a lot of SVGs. I don't have hundreds. I think there's 5 or 6 because I don't have time to make them. You'll get a special phone number to call in during live videos. And so some of these are for $5 and less too. Personal video classes for Cricut, design space at least once a month, exclusive Facebook group like I talked about for the $10 or more. Some of those things you get lower. The only thing you get only at $10 is the design space classes. So I just wanted to get that out there and let you guys know it's available. If you want it, do it. If not, don't do it. All right? Okay. Are we ready for this class? Thank you, Sharon, for pledging. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, are we, we're going to talk about vertical text and any text, and then any questions you want. This was actually one of the questions in my special design space group, in my exclusive one, and I did a live video in the group and showed it to her, but I thought this might be something that you guys want to know, and I didn't have anything else to talk about today because I didn't see enough questions. Let's go to design space. A shout out to a few of the people who support this channel on Patreon. Glenda, Charmaine, Sue, Lori, Lena, Lisa, Tammy, Patricia, Camise, Catherine, Denise, Lori, Laura, Leilana, Dawn, Kathy, Merritt, Susan, Johnny, Angela, Letitia, Margaret, Patricia, Allison, Beth, Christine, April, Melissa, Darlene, Wendy, Lisa, Tammy, Annabelle, Nicole, Amanda, Denise, Bianca, Samantha, Patricia, Dale, Amanda, Kathy Ann, Tawana, Leslie, Sonia, Margarita, and Carol. Thanks, guys. And a special thanks to my co-sponsors. You're awesome. Okay. Okay, here's design space. One question I get all the time is, how do you get rid of those lines, the grid lines? Let me get over here. This number, this box right between the 0 and the 0, up here at the top, you click that. You can also go to settings and do grid lines and change units from centimeters to inch. You can hit the question mark on your keyboard and get the shortcuts. Okay, let's do, this was somebody asked me to do, she needed it actually in a 2x4 inch. So we got to unlock the lock and make it 2x4 within a 2x4 square. So it could be like that. It just depends on the name and the font and everything else. But how did I get this? Lear wants me to explain co-sponsors. Co-sponsors are people who support my channel at $40 or more. And if you go to patreon.com/melodylane, you'll see all the perks that they also get. Okay, so you add text and then you type in the name. Let's do the name Sheila. S. Now, after you type in each letter, you have to hit return or enter, whatever's on your keyboard. So I hit return, it goes down to the next line. And I'm putting these all in caps. And H and return. And E and return. And I, L, A, and we're done. So that's how we do that. Now, the question was before, well, how do I get them to look even? Because that doesn't really look nice, right? So one thing I also want you to notice about text, notice it's only one line. This one has its own line, and this one has its own line. As long as it's in one line, we can use these font edit things. You can use the letter spacing. Well, there's only one letter. So letter spacing will not do anything when you have it vertical. You want to use line spacing. So as long as you have it in one line, you can use these. You can change the font, make it balloons. I did do these in all caps, but I think. And somebody says finding a font is their hardest thing to do. I agree. I don't like doing fonts either. It's hard to choose a font. So now you see that there's 2 layers on this one. The second layer is always hidden. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 layers to a font. Somebody did ask about fonts yesterday when I said that Cricut has a lot of layered fonts. They didn't know what a layered font was. I did show them, or did tell them about them, and in my video I did yesterday, I showed layer fonts also. But as long as you have it, so they're like this, you can use these. Okay, so we're gonna move, whoops, that doesn't work when we're vertical. We're gonna use line spacing to move the letters closer. We're gonna click, I have the more here only because I don't have this spread out longer. See, when I spread that out longer, you see I have more buttons. I have alignment, curve, and advanced. When you're doing vertical, you cannot do curved. And I'm just gonna move this back so you guys can see my layers panel. So I'm going to click more, and I'm going to align these and center them. So now they're centered with each other. She also asked for a certain size. It just depends. You just have to make it fit that size. You can make the letters themselves smaller, the font size. But if you want it wider, you just make it wider. So you can do everything you can do the other way. You just have to hit enter after each letter. You center it here. Now, let's say they're not, let me change the font, because I did one yesterday. The font was real screwy. Let me see. Let's try this one. No. Where I had to separate the letters. No. Let's try this one. I like that, but that's not what I want to show you. Okay, let's say some of the fonts, I'm going to go line spacing again. Depends on what font you use. Let's say this A needed to be up further and it wasn't reaching all the letters, because sometimes that happens and it just depends on your font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Ungroup. Now, when you ungroup it, you have each letter on its own. So now you can move these up and down, and I would suggest when moving these up and down, you use your keyboard arrows so it stays even. But now I cannot change, I can only change the font of each letter. I would have to go in each letter to change the font. Line spacing, I can't really, it doesn't do anything. Notice how it's not doing anything? It's not moving it. That is because it's only one letter. It's not more than one. Alignment, it doesn't do anything. It won't align them all. Even if I select them all, those are all gone. None of those edit patterns are there, or edit, text edit buttons are there. Now, if you get this out of line, you can select them all and go up to Align and go to Center Horizontally. And then it will line them all back up. You can, let's do this, Align, go to Distribute Vertically, and it will line them all up evenly between the letters. See that? Because I pulled that way down. Yeah, you can use keyboard arrows. I'm using keyboard arrows to move it sideways, move it up, and it keeps it lined up that way. Karen asked, wouldn't just changing the font size keep the perspective better? I cannot find the font. I can change this font. Of the one that it looked like some letters were not close enough together. I don't know. Let's try this one. Okay, see how the Y is down here and it's touching this N? Okay, and the E is touching the L, but it's not touching the T. That's what I mean. So for this one, we would have to ungroup, and we could go to Advanced and ungroup to lines and letters that would actually be the same thing. And then select this and just move it up with my arrow, and then move this one up with my arrow, and maybe move that up a tinge. Maybe move that down. So that's what I mean. Okay, she says, okay, like that. Do that again. The keyboard arrows move. Instead of me moving this with my mouse, I'm using my mouse. Okay, I'm going to use my keyboard. See how it keeps it straight to, straight sideways or straight up and down. Sue, that's right. If you guys missed something, you can watch the replay, and I suggest watch the replay with Design Space open and do what I do. Pause the video if you need to. That's the best way to learn. If you're new to this, you have to do it to learn. You cannot learn just by watching, because then say a couple hours later, you're going to go get on Design Space. You're not going to remember how to do it. At least I wouldn't. So do it as I do it. And of course, live, it might be harder, but do it where you can pause the video. Okay, Linda says, every time I go to write text, I can never weld. Linda, are you talking about write text or this kind of text? Are you talking about the writing style? I have my caps locked. Let's get a different font. Do we ever see the fonts? You guys, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of just Cricut fonts. Let's go to just Cricut. Look, it just keeps going. Okay, now we're at the Zubaloo. But there's so many fonts. Oh, wait, let's do writing fonts. This one doesn't have a writing font. Writing style. Okay. Hold on, let's go to filter. I'm going to just look for writing style fonts. So all of these fonts, let me show you. All of these fonts have writing style. Do you see? Look where my mouse is. It's way down at the bottom. These move really fast. There's hundreds and hundreds. And did you know you can get access to fonts only for only $4.99 a month? It's actually $6.99 a month. If you pay annually, it's $4.99. So then you can use all of the writing fonts. Okay, let me answer that question. There's a reason you can't get them. There's no reason to weld writing fonts. You can't do it. You don't have the option. You're not doing anything wrong. Let me go to the DJ. I just love those. There's one. I love the one with the hearts. Isn't that cute? There's nothing to weld. Even if you put them together. Whoops, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Oh, letter spacing. You don't weld them because they're writing, so you want to attach them. Let me move Sheila. I can regroup that, and I still don't have the options here. Okay, so you're writing, you can't, there's nothing to weld. Now notice, because I typed all these are in one spot. So these will all write together. The Sheila word are all separate. They're not attached, they're only group. Let's go to this one. Caitlin is not grouped or attached. Let's go to Make It to see what's going on. What happens when we go to the mat? Okay, the weld is all written on here. It's not writing on paper. It's only writing on the mat. And look at Sheila and Caitlin words. They're all screwed up. If I want to cut those out in vinyl, I'm in trouble. So let's hit cancel. But Sheila is grouped. Caitlin's not grouped, but they still did the same thing. Grouping is only to be able to move it on this mat or size it together. They all size together. This is not sized together. This is not moved together. What you want to do is attach them. Now, Caitlin is not grouped. There's no reason to group it. We're just going to attach it. Now let's go to Make It. So now they're written how we want them because they're attached. Now, if you want this, let me get rid of this. If you want this to be written on something, you can add a shape. You can add any image from Design Space, any image you upload. We're going to move this to the back. And we're going to change the color. Okay, click on that so we can read it. Okay, so say we want this. Let's center them. We're going to click Align and Center. Want it right in the center. So we're just going to click Center. And let's make it. Well, that didn't do anything. I centered it and everything. Thank you, Linda. The problem is we didn't attach it. So we have to attach. We didn't group it or anything. We just attached it. Now this will cut out and this will write exactly where I have it. Lisa, there are 3 types of access. There's access fonts is what I was talking about for fonts only. So if you pay it by the year, it comes out to $4.99 a month, but you have to pay for it all at once. Otherwise, it's $6.99 a month. Okay, now I'm going to go back up and scroll and get some of your questions. I know you have lots of questions. Oh, when I cut letters with the shadow, they don't line up. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is staying on the, whoops. Uh-oh. Okay, I cannot reach that because I accidentally push it up to the top. And then I can't, when I go to grab it, it's stuck. That has actually never happened to me, but I know people have asked about it and I didn't get it because why would you bring your word all the way up to the top like that? And it just never happened to me. It just happened to me live. So let me show you how to do it. So I have it selected. I can tell it's selected because it's gray over here and because I can see these little things around it like this. It has little things around it when it's selected. I go select it again and they're back. Now I can use my arrow keys to bring it down so I can reach it. Because this bottom bar here opens up when you have text selected, so you can edit it. And those lines are back. Oh, I think that's because I went to, whoops. Oh my gosh. There we go. We're going to do regular. Oh, and we have to choose a font with layers. So let's choose a multi-layer font. A frightful affair. Okay, I don't understand that, Polly, that they don't line up, so. Oh, I think you said when you weld them, maybe? If I were to, let's letter space them together so they're touching a little. If I were to weld these, look what happens. Ooh, it's only one layer now. So we have to undo. We can ungroup two layers, which means they're two different layers. And I'm just going to show you all the options with layered fonts. Ungroup two letters. So the letters are moved. Maybe I need to undo more. Okay. Let me try it again. Ungroup two letters. There. The layer sticks with the letter when you ungroup to. So like if I wanted to make this like this, something like that, they're ungrouped. So I can no longer like move them all and have these options anymore because I ungrouped them. Now, I can still ungroup to layers, but it's on whichever one I had selected. See that? It's not on all of them. It's whatever I had selected. We're going to undo a lot again. Let's put it back. Okay, so now it's back. One reason I would, if I'm going to, oh wait, let's move them closer. If I'm going to weld, go to line spacing. If I wanted to weld these, I would move them closer together while they're all grouped as if I just typed it in. And then ungroup two layers because I want to weld it. And you can't weld both layers together, otherwise they will just become one. So we're going to weld this one first, and then we're going to weld this one. So then when we cut them out, we'll have two layers, this one and this one. And you can lay them on there however you want. You couldn't, they were made like this, but you could even center them. It just depends on the font and the shadow layer that it has. Oh, and Polly had to leave. So we'll make sure she watches this video. I'm so glad you guys are learning something new. Sharon is asking, can I use the fonts for projects I sell? Any fonts that are in Access you can use for projects you sell. Ronald said he printed the font list. And somebody's asking how he did it. I don't really know. He said he did it in Adobe Illustrator. Thank you, Mandy. Linda's asking, but in a writing font, how do you get the pen to write continuously, not individual letters? You can't. It just does what it does. It has its own brain. Think of it as a teenager. It'll get the job done, but not always the way you want it. And access, does the font indicate licensed or not? Okay, let me show you. Do I have anything that... Oh. I'm going to detach this so I can get to the font. Okay, any font that's in Access has a green A. Let's go to the Cricut ones. So by paying for Access, any of the Access, you get all the fonts with a green A. If they don't have a green A, they're licensed. If they do have a green A, they're not licensed and they're in Access. They don't just pick and choose what they want to put in Access. They put everything in Access that is not licensed. Every image, every font. So you know what you get in Access by the green A. You get the Cricut emojis. You'll see some people have a badge of a little Cricut guy next to their name, and their name is green. That means they are sponsors of the channel. I don't know if I still have... Yeah, there's a link if you want to become a sponsor, and there's other perks. You get all my Design Space files and things too. There will be another mystery box. Sooner more than later. Yeah, there will be a physical mystery box is what I mean. There's lots of things coming to Cricut. You guys are going to be excited. What brand of embossing pen will fit in the pen holder? The Ranger embossing pen. I have it in my store. Let me find it and I will show you. Oh, I searched it and put pen. Here's a text link for the embossing pen, and I'll bring this over here. So this pen fits in, I gotta see what you guys can see, hold on. This pen fits in it. You get a clear and a black. So in this pack you get, it's a 2-pack. I don't know why there's only just a picture of the one, but you get 2. It's black and clear. And it fits in the Cricut Explorer and Maker. Fits in both. Anything that fits in the Explorer also fits in the Maker. Please remember that. And I have some videos on using those so you can emboss. Deborah says, how do you add your computer fonts? They're already there. Go to Design Space. Even if you don't have a Cricut, you can still go to Design Space. You can click on the text button. You can type anything you want. And if you click System Fonts, why are there no results found? Huh. Oh, because I have filter. I don't have any system fonts that have layers. So these are all my fonts that are already installed on my computer. These are not Cricut fonts. And then you click Cricut and it will give you only Cricut fonts. This is mostly what I use because I share my files and I create files for my Patreon supporters. So I use something that they can share because if they don't have, thank you so much. If they don't have my font, then they can't use it and it might look strange. So I try to stick to Cricut fonts. I really love this confetti font, but I have not found a reason that I need use. Oh, I like it with that word. It depends on what words you're using. That's just a fun font. And it comes in regular bold italic, and writing. Joan is so funny. Talking about my dogs. Yeah, they sleep a lot. How do you get new fonts, not Cricut ones? You install them on your computer. You can go to dafont.com. They have a lot of free fonts, and you download the font and install it. On a Mac, it's really easy. I download it, click on the downloaded font, and it unzips it and comes up with a button that I click that says install, and that's all I have to do. Lisa, you're only clueless because you haven't seen it. Thanks for using my link. I do get small commission when you use my links. Okay, Lisa has a question. What are you using on the links on the embossing pen powder to melt it? Should I search heat gun? Like these. Oh, there's a teal one. It's only $16.69. Here. I'll share the link to this one. I think I want that one. My heat tool kind of quit working, but I have like 4 extras still in their packaging, but I don't have this pretty teal one. So here is a heat gun that what you do is you use the pen, put it in the machine. You can have it write whatever you want. It takes 10 minutes for the pen to dry. You don't want it to dry. You want to use it while the ink on the paper is still wet, and then you drop embossing powder on it and sprinkle it off, kind of like you'd use glitter on glue. And then you use this gun, makes noise, and it puts out lots of heat. And it kind of melts the powder, and the powder is like little pieces of plastic. And then you have pretty embossed stuff. I have quite a few videos using it. Okay, going back to your questions. Yeah, it was the confetti font. There's a shout out to a few of the people who support this channel on Patreon. Let's go back to Design Space. This is the confetti font. But it's different with different. Hold on. Yep, it's all. See, let me explain something else with fonts. Do you see the space here between the R and the T? It's because, even if I move letter spacing closer, it's because the T starts right here. The R ends right here at this tip. So see how close this T and the H are together? The R and the T are just as close. They are the same distance. But it doesn't look that way. So to fix that, actually I would center this first. You could do line spacing. I do all my changes I want to change. But really, that takes too slow. I like to you can just click ungroup, or you can ungroup letters to lines. I just ungroup. They're all single now. Maybe what I would do here is select these three. Use my arrows on my keyboard and move these together. There, I like them better like that. I can group these. I can group these. And then I can select them both and I can align them. I don't want to click center because watch what happens. It's not what I want. So I'm going to select them both again and center horizontally. There we go. No, I don't think you can melt the glitter instead of embossing powder. The link to my store is in the description of the video. Let me find it. Amazon shop. Oh, you know what? Is that? Doesn't have the N on the end. Does that work? Does that link work? Nope. So I just noticed that's not right in all my videos probably. Here we go. This one should work. No! Why is it not working? Try it again. Is it just, I don't know what's not. All right, let me go to Amazon and find. Let me find it. See if this works. Okay, that works. Are you talking about the confetti? Can it be written on paper? Yes, you can make it writing. So here's what it looks like in the writing style. And let's center it. And anytime you want it on paper, you have to attach it to something. So let's change this to white. Move backward. And then select both the text and the box and click attach. So it will write on that. All right, guys, I think that's it. If you have more questions, please put them in the comments and I always need to know what to do classes on Saturdays. Reminder for those of you that maybe just joined, I will not be doing a class next week, but I will be live somewhere else in a crafty space. And I will be with somebody else, and I'm not telling you where I'm at. You will find out next Saturday when I get there. And Patreon supporters, hang out. There's links on my Patreon, and YouTube sponsors. For the new YouTube sponsors, to get to perks, let me show you really fast. Let me just find my channel. Here are all the links to everything. I don't know why. I can't believe that's not working. Okay, let me go to my channel. Here's how you join a member of my channel. Here's my emojis you get. And here are the perks you get. It explains them. When you are a member already, you can click on my name on any video. It takes you to my homepage. And you go to community. So in community, this says members only. You have to click read more and you'll get the file for that. And then here is the link to join in the Patreon Hangout. This is to everybody, showing you how cheap the Cricut vinyl is on sale right now. And I got it for $2.84. So if you click this link, I do get a little bit of commission. And here's some more things. This is members only. You get that. And other things. You can see different posts on my community page. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I love you. That's why I do what I do, because you guys make it awesome. Thank you, Sue. Sheila says, where do you think you are going next week without telling us? Well, it's a secret. Let me just say, Angela knows where I'm going. Lisa Robb is asking, is the free member stuff only for for Patreon or only YouTube. The only thing that members get that Patreon does not get are the emojis. Otherwise, Patreon members, well, yeah, Patreon members get everything. It depends on the level of Patreon you are. Thanks, Ronald. I'm going to be driving on Friday, and I might pop in with a little video of me driving, but I don't want to give away where I'm going, so I might not. Thank you, Kathy. I'm just sitting here reading your comments. So thank you, everybody. You can't get the Amazon link to work. I sent 3 of them out. This is the one that seemed to work. Let me click this. Oh, I see why it didn't work. I think it's this. So my Amazon store, I think, is amazon.com/shop/MelodyLaneDesigns815. That's a long name. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see Patreons and YouTube members in just a few minutes. All right. You guys, it's so hard for me to say goodbye. I just keep reading chat. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.